Hi everybody, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. Memoirs London are a fairly new fragrance house. I just discovered them last year, but I was really impressed with what they had to offer. They've got some new fragrances out, so I will be giving you my first impressions on those fragrances, and I will also be including an interview with the creative director of the company, Holly Hutchinson. Stay tuned to FM. Last year, I had the good fortune to work my way through the Discovery sample set from Memoirs. It was their dark range of fragrances. I really enjoyed them, Luxuria being a standout one for me, but they were all very high quality. They now have a new range, which is called the Light range. I'm going to give you my first impressions on those fragrances, but before I do that, let's take a look at an interview I did with the creative director of the company, Holly Hutchinson, whilst I was in Milan. I'm very lucky today. A brand I discovered last year that I've really been enjoying is Memoirs, and Holly is the owner of the brand.
I am the brand owner.
The brand owner.
Yeah.
Do you feel proud to say that?
I'm very proud. Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of effort, but I'm very, very proud where we've got to so far.
I can imagine. I wouldn't know where to begin to come up with a concept for a fragrance brand. What's your background? Have you been in the fragrance industry before Memoirs?
Yeah, so I have been in the perfume industry for about 8 years now, and learned a hell of a lot on the way. What not to do, what better things to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, met some amazing people. I think that's one of the things that I love so much about this is even here in Aix-en-Provence, I'm bumping into people I haven't seen for 4 or 5 years, and it's like time hasn't passed. That's
something we should say where we are. We're actually in Milan here, and we're at Aix-en-Provence, so we're both here at the same time, so it's a good way to connect and have a bit of a chat. And we've never met before. I think we've spoken online quite a bit, so and we were talking about how it's kind of weird meeting people in the flesh for the first time.
Yeah, but it feels really like we already know each other.
I know,
so
yeah, that's the thing about online these days, is you can feel like you can get to know a person and not even meet them, but it is good to meet.
Definitely.
So you've been in the perfume industry for 8 years. Mm-hmm. Before you got into the perfume industry, was having a line of perfumes ever in your mind, or did that just grow as you were involved in the industry?
I think I've always been quite entrepreneurial, and I've always been incredibly creative. And having this incredible passion for fragrance that I've always had, thanks to my mother, who's fragrance obsessive. I couldn't really have it any better way, really. I get to be creative, I get to meet amazing people, I get to create things that smell and look amazing, and yeah, I mean...
Holly, you are actually winning at life.
Yeah, I feel like it.
You're doing well.
I feel like it. I think I said last summer, I actually couldn't be happier in what I do.
That's amazing.
So it's quite magic.
So the first line of fragrances that I've smelt and I'm familiar with, just give us a little bit of background information about those.
Yeah, so we started off with a collection of 7 fragrances based around the 7 sins. They're all named in Latin because I don't know if people really want to purchase a fragrance called greed or envy or gluttony. Yeah. So we kind of made it a little bit more kind of palatable for the customer. They're all very evocative scents, they're all very powerful. We have between 20 and 30% oil, so that they all last a very long time on the skin.
Every single one of them lasts a long time.
Yeah,
they're great.
And I think we use a real array of exquisite fine oils and ingredients that, you know, are just quite magical when they all come together. And
you go to lengths to source natural ingredients and the best quality that you can.
Absolutely. You know,
because Memoirs, we should say, is a very luxury brand, isn't it?
It is a very luxury brand.
And you get what you pay for with it. You do get luxury.
Definitely. I mean, for me, attention to detail, you were just saying you're a perfectionist. I am also a perfectionist, and I love the attention to detail, from the delicate spray when you spray it, the way it feels when you hold it in your hand, the texture of the cap, the individuality of each one having its own grain, you know, the strength and the structure of the handmade box. It's all really integral to the brand itself.
And when we're getting down to that fine detail of each cap having its own specific grain, that really is attention to detail. And you engrave your caps as well, because you engraved one for me, which I was
we can
so
engrave
surprised.
caps. We can do quite a lot of things. I'm getting married on the 10th of August this year. I am wearing Luxuria on my wedding day.
Good, which is my favourite from the house, by the way. I love them all, but for some reason Luxuria resonated with me. So
yeah, and so that choice. I'm actually in the process of getting all of the caps engraved for all my guests. So instead of place cards, each person has a his and hers perfume with their name engraved on the top. So it's classic. A very special day. I mean, it's got to be that way.
Well, wish you all the best for that day.
Thank you.
So this line is currently the big news. Really, was it back end of last year? You got into Selfridges with the line.
So on the 7th of December, we launched in Selfridges, which has just been amazing.
And just as a side to that, we had a message conversation online, and I'd been into Selfridges in Manchester, and before I knew this information, I said to the manager there, I don't know if you remember, I said, I've really discovered this great line. I think they would work really well in Selfridges, and I messaged you, and you said, well, you know what, Chris, you're the first person I'm telling about this, but we actually are going into Selfridges in London. So it was a
fate,
interesting coincidence, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are actually just rolling out into Birmingham Selfridges this week, and then we're rolling out into the 2 Manchester stores in the next month.
It's all about the Manchester
So it is
store.
on its way.
Good.
It's on its way. So very exciting times for the brand.
And is that based on how the brand performs in the London store as to how they roll it out? Yeah. So it must be going well for you.
I mean, the whole plan was let's really get it up and running in London. Let's make sure that this brand is good for the market, which I'm over the moon to say it is.
Well, I mean, how can it not be? You know, they smell great.
Yeah, so. I mean, it trust me, it's a lot of hard work. I've got an incredible team of people that work for me in Selfridges. All my team are fantastic, and I couldn't have done it without them, really. But you know, we're very excited to be kind of rolling it out, and there's just so much more to come for the brand.
So that leads into more exciting news. You've got a new line of fragrances coming out.
Yeah,
tell us about those.
Actually, we've got 10 new fragrances coming out.
10?
10.
Wow.
So to start with, let's start with them in order. We are partnering with a very special person. I've known him for about 7 years, and he's a very dear friend. His name is Rowan Rowe, and he is one of the up-and-coming influencers, men's lifestyle influencers.
Instagram, YouTube, or both? Or?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, he's on it, and he is kind of influencing a lot of people.
He's a big deal.
So we are partnering with him. We have created an incredible product called Imperia, which means inner strength. He is also a fitness and lifestyle blogger, so it kind of all makes a lot of sense to have an empowering fragrance.
Absolutely.
And that comes in a really beautiful matte black bottle.
Why would someone just walk past the camera?
I don't know.
Anyway, it happened. Let's continue.
Let's pretend like it just didn't happen.
Here we go. Thanks, mate.
And it comes in a really beautiful matte black bottle with a matte finish cap. Still handmade caps, as always, and it's incredible. So that launches on the 16th of May.
Okay.
In both Selfridges at the moment.
How would you describe Imperia?
It is a fruity, woody, fairly masculine scent. Our price point on this one is £127. So we're kind of it's a more entry level price point to the market, but we want to be a brand that caters for a diverse range of people.
Yeah, and that is cheaper, but that's still for the 100ml.
That is for 100ml.
Is that still extra?
It is still extra. Yeah, it is.
127 for 100ml of extra. It's good value.
It's an incredible value, and I mean, it's probably not a fragrance I would wear, but I love smelling it on other people. So that's all I could ask for, really.
Okay. Yep. And then there's another 9 in that same line.
Then we also have the limited edition fragrance for Selfridges. So that is Rose Luxuria. That comes in a beautiful pearlescent pink bottle.
Okay.
And that's going to be available from the 7th of June. And then we have our contradicting collection, the 7 Heavenly Virtues. which is entitled the Light Range. So we have the first collection of the Seven Sins of the Dark Range, and then the Light Range is coming out. So we have Humanitas, Humilitas, Potentia, Temperantia, Industria.
It's like remembering the names of the seven dwarves, isn't it? You always forget
and
one.
White Castitas.
Wow,
so
okay, great.
They're all in there.
I'm impressed that you just reeled off all those names.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't smelled any of those. I'm really excited to smell them because I was very impressed by the first line of fragrances based on the seven deadly sins. If you haven't tried them, then do visit Memoirs' website. You can get samples. If you're in London, Birmingham, soon to be Manchester, you can go in and you can smell them, and I don't think you'll be disappointed because they are exquisite fragrances. Okay, well, Holly, thank you for joining me here in Milan for an interview. I know you're really busy. You were just telling me your schedule is manic, so just to sit here and have a chat with me for my channel, it's been a real pleasure. And
amazing.
Awesome to meet you, finally.
Amazing to meet you too, Chris. Thank you so much.
So now you know a little bit more about the brand. I'm going to look at these new fragrances. I'm not going to spend much time on each one, just a quick first impressions to give you an idea of what's going on in this new light range of fragrances. So the first one I'm going to be looking at is called Humilitas. The notes in this one are mandarin, lemon, bergamot, jasmine, lily, rose, saffron, davana, labdanum, vanilla, musk and patchouli. I have all my samples sprayed on these test strips, which I sprayed about an hour ago, so I'm just going to be using these to give you my first impressions. And straight away, we're starting off strong. Humilitas is beautiful, so it's like a fruity, floral. It's got some musks in there, so it's got a really nice sensual feel to it. And there's vanilla as well. There's a lovely warmth created from the vanilla. So it's got a fruity opening, there's some florals in the mid, there's some white florals in there. It's got that sensual muskiness and a lovely warm vanilla. I feel that this is quite elegant. I would describe it as elegant, definitely unisex. It's not too floral for guys to wear. Certainly I could wear it anyway. I think this doesn't smell that powerful. It may perform differently on skin, but I don't think this is going to be a massive projector. I think this is quite a nice, subtle and elegant fragrance. So this one may work well as a nice day scent, but straight away you can tell the quality that you would expect from Memoirs is here. Very high quality materials. Humilitas is really nice. The next one is called Caritas, and I've got a smile on my face because I really like this one. It's great. The notes in this are lemon, cardamom, red fruits, rose, ylang ylang, cinnamon, milky accord, leather and frankincense. I'm already in love with this one. It is absolutely stunning, right up my street. It's got a brightness to it. There's some citruses, but they're not sharp, tart citruses. They're very smooth. And then you've got a beautiful milky accord in there, and it mixes with the leather, and it's not a sharp leather at all. The whole blend of this scent is just very smooth. It's warm, it's spicy, it's sexy, it's inviting, it's got attitude. It's got even a bit of a boozy accord. There isn't any boozy notes listed in this, but all those things combined just give me the feeling of a little bit of booziness. So pretty much all things that I look for in a scent. I think performance of this would be good off the paper. It's smelling really strong. I think longevity will be really good. So if you want to have that feeling of walking into a room and people know when you've arrived, your fragrance announces you, then I think that Caritas will be that one. This is one that you probably don't want to overspray, but it's absolutely gorgeous. The next one is Temperantia. Again, I really enjoy this one. The notes in this one are lemon, peach, rose, jasmine, cinnamon, saffron, patchouli and amber. So this one is fruity and slightly gourmandish. It's got a nice density to it. It's got a darker edge, almost a brooding quality to it. There's some earthy patchouli in here. I'm also getting a bit of rose from this one. Now, sometimes rose is a little bit too feminine for me to deal with. It's strange with this one. I'm picking out the rose. It's definitely there, but it's really wearable. It's not a rose that I would run away from at all. This is definitely a fragrance that I could easily wear. Again, this one is in my top 3 of this line of 7 fragrances. Temperantia is another beauty. Next up is Humanitas. The notes in this one are passion fruit, peach, orange, iris, heliotrope, magnolia, rose, lily, amber, musk and sandalwood. The first thing you get from this one is the passion fruit and the peach. And then straight away you've got the white florals, so it's quite heavily indolic to my nose. So by that I mean the white florals are giving this very dense, kind of heady, sweet, potent feel. So the fruitiness on top of the white florals just sits really nicely. It's a heavy fragrance, it's got a lot of density. If you like things like Alien by Mugler, this is kind of doing a similar thing. I think this one is going to be a big performer. This one will project quite a bit, and I think it will last on the skin. So this is quite a big, bold, fruity floral fragrance. Really good. The next one is Castitas. Notes in this one are white gardenia, jasmine, ylang ylang and amber. So rather than being a very heavily indolic white floral, this is a lighter, brighter white floral. I think this one just has a little more elegance to it, and it's less weighty than the previous one. It's really nice. It kind of reminds me of smelling a floral bouquet in church. You get a little bit of a kind of floral churchy vibe off this one. Out of all of these, I would say this one to me leans a little more feminine, so this one probably isn't one that I would personally wear, but I can tell that it's high quality, well blended. Very smooth, very pleasant, very elegant. I think a lot of people would really enjoy this one. This one is another of my 3 favourites. It's called White Castitas. The notes in this one are lemon, violet, rose, plum, licorice, musk, sandalwood, amber, patchouli and vanilla. Oh, again, this one is just really good. It's got a bit of edginess to it. I describe it as a sort of floral with attitude, and it's got this really nice combination of licorice and plum. Now the licorice isn't dominant at all, it's just subtly hinting at it. So if you're not a big fan of licorice, I know it's a strong note that some people aren't, then don't worry, I think you would still enjoy this fragrance. And I've never seen the licorice and the plum combined together. Plum is a note that really works well in fragrances for me, so it's got a lovely kind of fruity depth to it, just a little edge of darkness. And it's so smooth. In the base we've got amber and sandalwood, vanilla, musks. I can't really say much more about it. Definitely looking forward to giving this one some more wearings. It's, I think it's pretty sexy. The last one I've got for you is called Industria. The notes in this one are pink pepper, bergamot, lemon, orange, rose, geranium, jasmine, neroli, saffron, gaiac wood, cedar, amber, sandalwood, tonka, vanilla and powdery musks. So a pretty complex list of notes in this one, but it doesn't smell too busy at all. It's just really smooth. If anything, maybe just leans a touch more feminine than some of the others I enjoyed in here, so perhaps I wouldn't reach for this one as much, but it is just a great blend, high quality, very elegant. You know what? Sod it. I would wear this one. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed a few first impressions on this great new line from Memoirs. I hope you enjoyed the interview, and I hope that maybe listening to Holly talk about the company and the fragrances put these fragrances into a bit more context for you. You can pick these up in Selfridges, so if you don't want to blind buy a bottle, because the bottles are around £170-ish, so fairly expensive, but it is 100ml of extrait. So when you think about what you're getting and the fact you don't really need to spray a lot of these fragrances on each time you wear them, then it's not bad value for niche fragrances. So yeah, you can go to Selfridges stores, I think in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and you can smell these for yourself. You can also order samples from the Memoirs website, so I would highly recommend getting a sample set of either the dark range or the light range. Not sure if they're doing one yet of the light range, I assume that they will be. If you sample these fragrances, then I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're in the States, I think you can buy these from Door Perfumes. You can either buy the bottles or the samples, so if you think you like the sound of them, then get in touch with Door and see what they can do for you. I will leave links to Memoirs' website and Door Perfume's website in the description below this video. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. If you've tried any from Memoirs, from the dark range or the light range, I would love to hear what you think, because I think they're very high quality fragrances. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.